fly. SLU researchers test a new vaccine that could stop mosquito-borne illnesses before they spread. Plus, learn about the Kaiser Tora Award and the St. Louisan being honored. And then meet an artist who says antique books speak to her, and another whose work was discovered by National Geographic. But first, a class giving students real-world experience as entrepreneurs. It's Sunday, and you're watching the multiple Emmy Award-winning Spotlight. A catalyst is described as an agent that provokes or speeds significant change or action, which is exactly what's happening here. This is the Catalyst STL.
We believe this is a really good launching pad, a catalyst, so to speak, for something that can ignite their passion and interest in a particular area they want to pursue.
Today's guest speakers have careers in real estate, and they're talking about what their jobs are really like.
There is a difference between what you learn in real estate school versus like real life real estate.
Anyone can Google what is it like to be a dentist, what is it like to be whatever career choice, but to actually sit down with that professional and be able to ask them questions that are a little more intimate, it really gives them an insight into what's the daily going to be like, what did it take to get here.
This is all part of the Catalyst program, a collaboration between 4 high schools as part of the CAPS network, or Center for Advanced Professional Studies.
And we bring in people in industry to teach them about dressing for success, email correspondence, basically things you need to be a professional adult. They set up LinkedIn accounts and they have a real good digital online presence.
The Catalyst program is a unique class offered daily to juniors and seniors to give them hands-on, real-world experience.
So if they want to work 3 different internships throughout the course of the school year, that's fantastic. If they want to launch their own business, that's even cooler.
I started C10 Apparel with my friend. It's a school store for Clayton High School, which is where I go because we didn't have really a school store there. We had sweatshirts, shirts, shorts, like polos.
I also did start my own business, which is a car detailing business called Blaze Mobile Detailing. Not everyone has the time to take their car to like an automatic car wash. So basically I come to you and I detail your car out.
It's called Rookies Newtown, and it's for the restaurant Rookies. It's in Newtown, St. Charles. And so we just built them a website. We put pictures up there of their food, and it's like a sports bar, so we tried to like stick with that theme. It was really fun. It took a lot of work, but it felt really rewarding in the end.
Student entrepreneurs get a chance to earn an angel grant or startup money.
So I did pitch to this guy who owns like a detailing company as well, actually, and he gave me like $1,000 to buy everything I needed to start the business, and that's really what the best part about this class is you have the opportunity to literally be given money to start your own business.
You kind of just get to see what the real world is like in the work field, and it's kind of cool because you get to see like the behind the scenes of their businesses and like what they really do in depth.
It's not just like a science class, not just a math class, and so I'm learning stuff that I feel like I already can use in my real life, like not just like maybe in my future. It's like I already am using it.
Like all high school classes, these students do get a grade, but it's not based on whether their business succeeds or fails.
It doesn't matter if it's successful. What matters is the process. And so I'm not going to penalize a student because their business maybe wasn't the best idea in the world, because at least they tried and they went through the process and they learned a lot of things that you shouldn't do next time.
Failing forward and empowering students. This class hopes to be a catalyst to helping them discover their passions.
With this class, you can really have a chance to like figure out maybe what you want to do as your career.
It's really fun. I love this class. You can do like so many different things, and it's just really interesting, and I think it's really helpful.
Who knows what path they're going to take, but understanding that there are a lot of different paths to look into. And don't close any doors because, well, you never know what life's going to bring.
The first publicly funded kindergarten in the U.S. opened in 1873 in De Pere School on Michigan Avenue in St. Louis. It was started by St. Louisan Susan Blow. Known as the mother of the public kindergarten movement, Blow served as the director and also began training other teachers. By 1880, Blow had helped to start 58 kindergartens in St. Louis, serving over 9,000 students. She's credited with creating the national model for adding early childhood education to public schools across the country.
It's confirmed. There are mosquitoes in the St. Louis area infected with a disease of great concern. The St. Louis County Department of Public Health has confirmed West Nile virus positive mosquitoes for the summer of 2025. As for the number of confirmed human cases in Missouri after being bitten by an infected mosquito, that's under investigation. But looking at the track record over the previous years,
we always have several dozen cases identified at least in Missouri every year. The Missouri Department of Health tracks them, so you can track that information on the Missouri Department of Health website.
It's a reminder that the virus can occur anywhere in Missouri and most anywhere in the U.S. over the summer months. People may also contract West Nile virus through blood transfusions, organ transplants, and from an infected mother to baby.
West Nile in a healthy person will give you either no symptoms at all, or you have low-grade fever, fatigue, ache all over, feel kind of punky for a few days. The problem is if it gets into people who have weak immune systems or the elderly, because then the virus can actually invade the brain, sadly, and cause meningitis and brain infection, something called encephalitis, paralysis, can even be fatal.
Dr. Sarah George is a professor of infectious diseases at St. Louis University, and she's also a principal investigator for St. Louis University's Center for Vaccine Development. So it's here where Dr. George is doing something about the West Nile virus.
We do not have a licensed vaccine for people for West Nile in this country, or indeed in any country at this time. We do have 4 licensed vaccines for horses, which is good because it means we ought to be able to make a vaccine for people.
And she's right, because a vaccine is made. Now it's her job to investigate as principal investigator of a clinical trial at SLU's Center for Vaccine Development.
Doing an ongoing study, we're not currently asking for any more volunteers, of a West Nile vaccine to look at both its safety and how potent it is in generating antibodies to West Nile. That study's been in progress since about March of this year and will continue for about another year.
Currently, there is no approved vaccine or treatment for illness caused by West Nile virus, so the clinical trial is the next step.
We have 30 people in that study, and that's all we require. We're hoping that the vaccine will be safe and will induce a good response to West Nile. So far, we're not seeing any safety concerns. That's great. If there were, we would have to stop the trial. The immune response, we won't know that for another year or so.
West Nile is not the only mosquito-borne disease Dr. George has set her sights on.
We've done a lot of vaccine trials over the past 10-odd years for mosquito-borne diseases here. So we've got a lot of experience with dengue and Zika and chikungunya.
And yellow fever,
which is another nasty tropical virus spread by mosquitoes. They're just becoming more and more of a problem.
George is principal investigator of a clinical trial for a new investigational yellow fever vaccine.
It's exciting because it's not made with any animal products, no eggs. It's a slightly lower dose than the current vaccine, and it's something we can make very, very quickly.
The current yellow fever vaccination is required for travelers and military personnel going to countries where yellow fever is present. While yellow fever is not currently in the U.S., West Nile virus is a priority for health professionals in the U.S.
It's exciting because, A, we simply don't have a vaccine for it for humans, and we don't have any treatment for it. So we really do need a vaccine for the elderly population for West Nile. We need it for the immunocompromised population, and that's actually more and more people, because more and more people are going on what are called biologic therapies that help treat very bad diseases where the immune system is attacking itself, people with rheumatoid arthritis, people with lots of different things. And so we need to offer better protection to those people than we currently have. You know, the mosquitoes are going to bite them too.
History Spotlight, brought to you by HEC Media and the Missouri Historical Society.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jody Sowell, president of the Missouri Historical Society in St. Louis, and this is History Spotlight. The St. Louis Rabbinical College was the region's first Jewish seminary, and one of its most prestigious awards was the Kaiser Torah Award. Listen as Director of Curatorial Affairs, Hattie Felton, tells the story of the Torah crown.
A crown of the Torah is an ornament placed on top of the Torah when not in use. Often made of silver or gold and decorated with symbolic motifs and precious stones, these beautiful objects represent the importance of the Torah to the Jewish faith. This intricately designed silver crown of the Torah was not used on a Torah, however. This one was given as an award. The St. Louis Rabbinical College, or Yeshiva Gedola, was established in 1961 in University City as the first Jewish seminary in the region. The Orthodox institution offered high school and college-level courses to young men from Missouri and across the country, many of whom were studying to become ordained rabbis. At an annual awards banquet, the Rabbinical College presented a St. Louisan with the Kaiser Torah Award to honor that individual's contributions to St. Louis's Jewish community. The Kaiser Torah Award was a crown of the Torah engraved with a custom message to the recipient. Over the years, the college presented the award to philanthropists, activists, community leaders, and more. Duncan Bauman, a longtime editor of the St. Louis Globe-Democrat, received this Kaiser Torah Award in 1983, recognizing his years of support for the city's Jewish community through his newspaper work. The Yeshiva Gedola also bestowed Bauman with an honorary degree that year. Bauman was deeply moved by the award and wrote about it in his 1999 memoir. He said, "I believe I am one of the few Gentiles to receive such a significant memento of friendship and respect. I have given it a prominent and honored place in the living room of my home." This Kaiser Torah Award helps to preserve the story of the St. Louis Rabbinical College, just one facet of this city's rich Jewish history.
To learn more about the Missouri Historical Society, visit mohistory.org. Later on Spotlight, changing the way people view those with a disability. Mark your calendars. The 2025 St. Louis Art Fair returns September 5th through the 7th. Get a sneak peek at the talent behind the canvas with HEC Media's Meet the Artist series. Before you even step foot at the fair, discover in-depth insights into each artist's creative process and what inspires their work. Watch now at youtube.com at Who Else Loves Art and look for the 2025 St. Louis Art Fair playlist.
My name is Shannon Gonzalez. My art studio is called Starfish and Coffee Designs. And the type of art I do, it's a combination of my love of nature, literature, and art. I use antique books. In that book, I extend the story with an image that involves nature and typically portraits of people. And then I add encaustic wax, so it gives that mystic feel, a mysterious feel. And then I add found objects as well to a lot of the pieces. I started about 4 years ago, and there's this thing called Inktober. It's a prompt that's every day in October, and you're supposed to do a quick drawing in ink, and then you share it. And we didn't have a sketchbook anywhere in the house. So I grabbed a book, and I drew in it every single day. And so because I was so used to drawing in that book, I think that's what led me down this path of using books and the message that the author was trying to portray and kind of twisting it a little bit in a new way to appreciate the book. Normally, I let the book speak to me, and then that's where the image comes from. There are times when I do the opposite, and then I spend many days searching antique stores for the right old book. Originally, I was actually like painting on the books, but some of my books are like 1906. And the paint, between the paint of the old book as well as then adding the wax, sometimes it would just melt. So I ended up learning now as that I do the painting. Most of the time I use a program called Adobe Fresco on my iPad. So I actually draw it and paint it. And then I, almost like a puzzle, I print each section on the original book pages. Then I mount it on a cradle board and add additional paint. And then I take the hot wax, a hot encaustic wax, and add layers. I like it to feel old, almost like you went up into an attic and you found all these paintings, you know. So I like it to kind of have like an aged feel, and I'll actually like cut out some of the wax and kind of hammer even some of my paintings to give that old feel to it. Most of my pieces are very confident, strong women that have a connection to nature, that they draw strength from. The initial reaction that people have is they love the story behind what the book is. They want to know that story and they want to know the history. All of my pieces have a long description because, again, it's the story that the book is kind of what drives it. But the bigger thing that I hope to accomplish is that I'm in my late 50s and I'm just now starting the career that I always dreamed of. And that it's possible. It really is possible. It's not just fairy tales. It is possible.
I spent the last 15 years traveling and focusing on a lot of different cultures around the world. I focused on the southern tribes of southern Ethiopia, pilgrims at Kumbh Mela, the Zapotecs in Oaxaca, a lot of different cultures. I really find it fascinating to be able to bring to awareness some of the ways of others, some of the ways of being that other people have around the world. You know, the way that I got into photography is really a long story. I love to share it. But in short, I was a technology sales rep for about 15 years, and I kind of went through a personal valley of darkness back in 2000 to 2004, and a lot of really bad things happened. And so I decided to, ultimately I surrendered and asked for guidance, and then based on sort of these winks that I was given, I sold it all and traveled around the world for 1 year. I had a $400 camera. I didn't expect it to happen, and when I returned from that 1 year trip around the world, I came back with a portfolio of work that sort of led me into this new direction. And then 5 years later, National Geographic discovered the work and decided to sign me under their agency, National Geographic Image Collection. I hope the work that I create will help others sort of have empathy and compassion and understanding and embrace the differences that these other peoples have. What I photograph is so much different than how I live. I'm inspired by it. I love to connect with people who are not like me. I try to connect with people that don't think the way I think, that don't live the way that I live. I find that if I can bring that into these exhibitions and these shows, hopefully I can express with the work that this is something to be admired and to be embraced. When I first started out, I was in the mountains of Vietnam, and I came across a woman in the mountains, me and her, and she passed me, and she had a blue and a green hand, and I stopped her and asked her what was on her hands. And from the indigo dyes, one blue, one green hand, I stopped her and asked her to present her hands to me and hold them out. And I photographed one picture, didn't think anything about it. I had no idea the impact that that one image would have on my personal career, as well as the people who now collect that piece and have it in their home. I feel personally called sometimes just to go to the places that I ultimately create these projects in. In the beginning of my career, it was more just sort of the adventure of it. And as I've progressed into this career, I think I'm 15 years in at this point, I'm really more targeted, and I really pay attention to sort of the way that I'm being guided to go to these certain places. It really has been quite a journey to be on, and I feel like it's such a gift to be able to offer this work. What draws people to the work is as varied as the person who is approaching the work. For me, art needs to strike some sort of emotion, some sort of movement within a person, and I feel like that I've been blessed with the ability to capture photographs that do exactly that. I've seen so many cases of that over the years, from grandmothers all the way down to 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. I've even had be moved by the work in really, really unique ways.
Hey, my name is Greg Turco. I'm a photographer and a digital artist. And my work is typically made by piecing together multiple photographs to create one final piece. The majority of what I do, if you had to boil it down to one word, would be nostalgia. Everything, regardless of whether it's my buildings that I photograph or old records or books, starts off with nostalgia in mind. I've noticed over the years that typically nostalgia is something that everybody can relate to. So for me, it's a good jumping off point. I like to explore that realm with my photography. As I'm working with multiple photographs, I tend to lay one on top of the other in Photoshop, and I decide at that point whether or not that particular layer works for me, and I can have different ways of adjusting it to see if one will work better than the other. But basically what I'm looking for in the end is an appealing image that interests me and also, of course, interests the viewers. And for me, it brings me back to a time of my childhood when I enjoyed listening to records or tapes, or even the ideas like of exploring old buildings and stuff like that, and the narrative stories that are inherent to those buildings. So I'm hopeful that when people come into my booth, they will enjoy that in the same kind of way that I do. I hope when you come to the St. Louis Art Fair that we can look through a few albums and enjoy ourselves talking about the days past, and maybe you'll find some art to bring home with you.
Like, comment, and subscribe to support arts, education, and culture.
Well, this is perfect. Let's get hyped.
All right, are you ready? Okay.
Go for it.
And we are rolling. Hey, what'd you say?
I walk over there.
Yeah, you did. Who's your favorite?
I'm Derek Baker. I am the TikTok champ.
I was hoping we'd see it.
Derek Baker is a TikTok star. What makes Derek different, though, is he also has Down syndrome. That difference is touching hearts and changing minds.
Yeah!
He's hilarious for how much we enjoy Derek and our friends and family enjoy Derek. Like, it just made sense that the world would enjoy him too.
That's funny, Derek.
That's Derek's younger sister, Katie. She and her sister, Jenna, launched Baker Banter on March 21st of 2020, which just also happens to be World Down Syndrome Day.
I called Katie and I was like, this is it. Like, Derek's always wanted this YouTube channel. Let's make a YouTube channel. And her being the Gen Zer that she is, was like, well, if you want to be on YouTube, you got to be on TikTok. And I was like, okay, what's TikTok?
Into the thick of it. We wanted to spread that acceptance, spread like the word on what Down syndrome is. And Derek has shown me that people with Down syndrome can be incredible and can be intelligent and can be witty and funny and smart. And we've just been opening eyes. And I think that's a really good blessing for our family.
Joe's on it. Yeah!
I love you, buddy.
I'm a dude right now. It's been a whirlwind when I'm starting this. It's really awesome. Put myself out there, and here I am talk about it. Baker Banter is part of the life. Those people around the world knows my name, like United States, United Kingdom, Australia,
New Zealand. We got a package from Pakistan once.
Everywhere.
Oh my goodness, you guys have delivered.
And on his birthday this year, Derek received cards from all across the nation and 22 other countries.
Oh my goodness.
I think that we've touched a lot of people's lives. And I think that, the whole goal, at least for me, to support the platform that the kids have created is that we're trying to show the world that people with Down syndrome are more like them than they are different.
All right, bud. Let's move.
Go.
You got your phone?
Phone, wallet.
Check. All right, get in. Let's go.
Go.
At 24 years old, like his peers, Derek has a job. He works at Pioneer Bakery in Kirkwood.
It's been whirlwind. I can't wait for the future holes.
We're not dipping smiley face cookies today. We're doing the gooey butter.
I enjoy working in the front of the house. The front of the house is meaning the new people walks in. Like for example, welcome to Pioneer.
My goal is that people embrace Derek, and then that, love, if you will, that they have for Derek online resonates to the kid in their classroom or the person who works in the grocery store that maybe is a little bit different.
Your total meal is $26.22.
Perfect. Derek empowered us 24 years ago. Our whole world changed when Derek came, and at 5 days old, we got the diagnosis of Down syndrome. My sister said to me was, Val, I don't know how to make you feel better today, but I know that little boy is gonna heal your broken heart. And he did, and he does every day. And now, because of social media and TikTok and YouTube, we have a platform to just show it to everybody else.
Did you even know what TikTok was when this all started?
No. No.
I did.
I'm still not that sure.
That feels good for me to hit the ball, make it to first base, second base, touchdown.
Derek's first love, however, is the WWE. He follows them and recently found out
No way. No freaking way. They actually found Bacon Banner?
People come in to see him, they don't come in to see me, right? They come from all over the country.
Derek gives people a glimpse into the world of a person with Down syndrome, and he is awesome.
Hey Jen, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, keep making me famous. I'm loving it.
Peace.
Love you.
Peace.
Next week, the St. Louis Art Fair happens September 5th, 6th, and 7th. We'll introduce you to some of the artists as we preview the event. Thanks for watching Spotlight. Join us next Sunday at 9:30 a.m. on KPLR 11.